The year is 20XX. You're on your 9th Mirage Bug in 2 days. Little Timmy still forgets to flash palm on gun rounds. You swing window and die to another hurt jet on Steam. You look down, trying to find solace, knowing that you are both there waiting for the same thing. You can't find it. You think about how you could have gone pro in that other game. You wonder if Valve have even read your emails. Is VacNet really working, or am I just becoming mature? You wake up, look outside of the window. Everything is still gray. You chug a white monster, scroll up and down a mile-long list of uninstalled and unfinished Steam games. You play CSGO. Your wife leaves you. Source 2 was never released. Well, that's certainly the world that we could have lived in, but instead we're in one where Source 2 was released. Well, I don't know, because it feels like any day now Source 2 could be released, so I just want to cover my bases in this video, okay? But before it comes out, I just want you to know this was recorded before it does. I'm here to tell you about the math on why this game will be called Counter-Strike 2, okay? I've got a tweet from a couple of years ago, my tinfoil hat on, for the conspiracy coming up. Are you ready for this? Listen in closely. Counter-Strike 1.0 to 1.3 to 1.4 to 1.5, okay? The game that you could go crazy on the bunny hopping. You could play internet cafes with your friends. You could download cheats and fly across a map on really high gravity and have fun fragging out on your best friends on Ice World. That was the old days, 1.5. Fast forward a little bit, CS 1.6. Some say the GOAT of the Counter-Strike franchise, okay? This game took over, in Toronto at least, every single internet cafe. Counter-Strike 1.6, StarCraft posters. You played those or you weren't cool. So people started playing this game at home. I was playing KZ, of course, jumping up on KZ Giant Bean. I was playing Warcraft 3 mod, Nightcrawler, of course, going invisible, walking along walls. Here's where they try to cover up the tracks behind them. We had Counter-Strike 1.5, 1.6. We call Counter-Strike 1.6, 1.6 because there was no other name. But then what happens after that? Counter-Strike Condition 0 or Counter-Strike 1.7, okay? Dope ass campaign, okay? Crazy ass grenades that threw extremely quickly with the campaign that no other Counter-Strike had. It felt like Call of Duty, like 1 through 4. You know, it felt like finally Counter-Strike was like our other favorite FPSs that came out at the time. Small but dedicated fan base. But now, the source of all evil. Counter-Strike Source 1.8. 1.8 was CS Source, where LOLU came from, where Mo came from, where honestly though, it was the movement game. They had the best surfing. It didn't have the best KZ. The best KZ was in 1.6, but it still had some great mechanics. And the Orange Box update came out, destroyed it. Listen, all these other games got ruined eventually by Valve. Valve said, we're done with you. We're moving on to the next one. And now, where are we? Counter-Strike 1.9, folks. CSGO on the Source engine is Counter-Strike 1.9. The game with the most longevity, the longest lifespan, the most love from Valve. The game that was made by Hidden Path. Valve never really had a good time trying to fix it, but now finally have. They fixed the hitboxes, they fixed the ladder movements. Well, it is a different game from the game that we were playing in 2012, where Molotovs used to slow you down when you ran through them. When Molotovs were talked about as a thing that we're going to ruin this game by many pro players on Twitter. This game is a far cry away from the one that we were beta testing in 2012, watching NIP go 87-0 on LAN in 2013. Most of the players we know from then have retired. Watching people play Counter-Strike Global Offensive in 2013 is like watching a wiener dog trying to climb up the stairs. It wasn't pretty. Now, so many years later, 10-year coin, all that stuff, CS20, CS GOAT, all right? CSGO is 1.9. Hidden Path made this game on the Source engine. Everything they've done wrong has been fixed up until this point, but it's still not Valve's game. So what do we get now? Counter-Strike 2.0. We're seeing this in some of the leaks that are coming out, that it says CS2 at the end of maps. This is Counter-Strike 2.0, and it completely adds up. You're hearing the math here first. This means that they're replacing the Counter-Strike Source 1 engine, which is the same way that they did this in Dota, where they kind of put it into beta, they swapped it out through the bottom, and then they just onboarded Dota 2 onto the Source 2 engine. And there are a few accounts here that you want to follow to see the leaks. I don't know what these lines of code mean. I mean, if they're making this up, I wouldn't be able to verify. The reason that this is great is that Counter-Strike on Source 2 is going to be a game that Valve have made, and they understand how to improve it and fix it. And since they made it, they aren't undoing somebody else's spaghetti code. I think there's a lot of future potential when it comes to maps. Maybe we get a better demo viewer, and I go back to watching demos. So if we get a new demo viewer, we get a new hammer for people to make new maps, we have potential for crazy stuff to come out of the Source 2 engine after some time. It feels like if CSGO gets moved on to Source 2, 2, the engine will be there, but people still have to learn how to use the engine. The maps still have to be made on top of the engine, and then we'll see the fruits of that labor, you know, in a year or two. Maybe they're going to release a bunch of maps that are already made in Source 2 that are updated. I mean, I guess everything will have to be updated. Who knows? Listen, this time it feels real. Maybe this video goes up and it is real, and then we're going to make just Source 2 videos, basically. So can't wait for that. I think there's a lot of cope with people who are like, oh, there's no reason to get excited. We shouldn't get excited. And to be honest, I think that that's just helping you brace for impact, and I understand why you're doing it, but whatever. Let's get excited about what can happen, and then let's take it from there. Let's see what the news is. Okay, let me ask you in the comments, is Source 2 real? Press 1 if Source 2 is real. Press 2 if Source 2 is a psyop. It was the shadow government created Source 2 to provide cover to pull people back from Valorant, but it never actually releases. Source 2 fake. Press 2. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. BOXR merch up on the store.boxr.gg. You can buy now the classic and invert. This will just be so you can buy a shirt anytime you want to support me, support the channel, support Nathan Taylor, myself, Vivid, who's been editing the videos, who helps with the releases, Davey, who helps with the releases. BOXR aren't sponsoring me. We are BOXR, okay? That makes sense. Oh, and before I go, make sure to check out Ace Zone if you want to hear footsteps before your greatest enemies on Face It, okay? The difference between level 10 and 11 is Ace Zone, folks. Don't forget it.